it has come to our attention that we've never actually spoken about any of the work that we did, like work as in jobs that we've done, whether it's volunteer work or paid jobs or internships that were unpaid. We've just never like spoken about them in detail. We've mentioned them here and there. We
Yeah.
said at my internship this or at my
Yeah.
internship that, but what did we actually do?
Exactly.
What did we actually do? So we decided that maybe it's time to let the people know.
Not only within the music industry, it can also be within entertainment itself. Because I remember I started out not in the music industry, but I would start out like helping with events,
Yeah, yeah,
like helping
same.
with like event decor or just like being of some type of assistance
Yep,
to the event planner. So I
yep.
started that way because I have a well, she's not like my aunt, but we say aunt out of respect. She's sort of like an event planner, party decorator, and I would always go with her to the venues to like help like decorate the venue. So like as I got older, I was like, okay, this is cool. Is this something I want to like get into, like decorating like events and stuff like that? Until I had this one friend, her daughter was turning 16, I think, and she wanted like a sweet 16 party or whatever. And I was like, okay, cool. But she never, her mom like never said like, okay, you're gonna be the event planner. But like the way that it was going, it was like, you're the event planner.
Yeah.
And I only realized until she kept like calling my phone, telling me like, okay, what are we gonna do with these designs, or what are we gonna do like for the cake? And I'm
And
like,
you're like, we?
and I'm like here shook, like, am I the event planner? I'm like, this is too
Is it
much.
me?
I can't handle this pressure. This is, this is crazy. But I was all fun and cool because I was young and it was just something for me to do that was fun, that I liked in the moment. Little pressure. But then
Yeah.
when it became too much pressure was when someone assigned me as a event planner. I was like, no, this is not it. This is not
And
it.
you were like, no, thank you.
No, thank you. No, thank you. Yeah, no, but initially, I think my first, I want to say, I don't want to say job, but my first like intern situation within entertainment then itself
Yeah.
was in 2000 and in 2018, I think. Was it 2018? Because the hurricane passed in St. Martin. Girl, I don't know. 2017 or 2018, I think, was my first time doing like a sort of intern situation within entertainment. And I say entertainment because it was for Carnival in St. Martin. And I was helping the stage manager for I think a Caribbean show that was going on. Yeah, because I was the stage manager's sort of assistant. And you could say that was my first time like interning within music entertainment. And it was fun, but hectic
Yeah, I can imagine.
because I was backstage helping the stage manager with the artist, with the
Yeah.
music, with
Yeah.
the scheduling. And I'm
Yeah.
like, hello?
It's a lot of logistics.
Do I want to be a stage manager? I don't think so.
She
That was a
said,
lot. That was a lot. No, for real. Because I remember my brother came to the venue and he was like sitting in VIP upstairs somewhere. And I went to him and I was like, guys, I enjoy this, but it's a lot. It's a lot. I'm tired, but it's a lot. They were like, yeah, yeah. I was like, no, it's a lot.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like you're literally always on the go.
Yeah.
And from the
And
moment,
especially in like a setting like carnival or a festival, it's like
girl,
nothing is ever fine. There's
and
always
then
something.
right, and then you have artists coming from like the Caribbean, and like
Yeah.
they all have their time slots of when they're gonna perform, and then there were like limited dressing rooms, so like this one need to be out of the dressing room before this time, and this one needs to go in, and this one is arriving in their car at this time, and this one needs to enter from this entrance, not that entrance. I'm like, guys, stop making it complicated. Like there are multiple
You're like,
entrances, but let's just have everyone come through one, right?
yes.
It's easy.
Yes.
They're all going in the same direction because there was like a hallway to go to like all the dressing rooms. It was just one hallway, guys. Let's go. One.
Yeah, why are we here
Why are we
spreading out like
here
this?
spreading all of that? But that intern situation was like minor work, and I say minor work because even though I wasn't doing much, it was still like a lot in terms of like pressure because like I
Mm,
had the task of like carrying the USBs to the DJ, ensuring that it's working, ensuring that I get all the USBs back, ensuring that he plays the song at the correct times and the cues. I
mm.
was also kind of in charge of having the schedules on in every dressing room, on every door, across all the walls. So like, and the thing is, there are multiple people backstage.
Yeah, of course.
So like, there needs to be like a schedule everywhere. So like, from the moment you turn, you see a schedule. And I was like, oh my god, now if I didn't put the schedule in the right place, they're gonna complain to the stage
It's
manager.
too much pressure.
And then I also had the task of like reporting how the night was flowing backstage,
Yeah,
because then I would go up to the front office to the president of the foundation to like give like info on how
yeah,
everything is running and stuff like that,
yeah. If
which I could
everything's on
remember
time,
like,
etc., etc.
yeah, but I could remember like what was a lot of pressure for me is like with the time scheduling, like ensuring that everyone like arrives on time, ensuring that the music was given to the DJ on time. And the thing is, right, there was a time that I disappeared, like I think for like 5 minutes, and I came back, and the stage manager was like, "Where were you?" She was like, "I needed you." She's like, "Don't ever disappear like that again." I was like, "Okay,
Cause like, can I go
sorry."
pee?
I was
Like,
like, "Hello." I was like, "Okay, sorry." You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
they need you like every step of the way, every moment, because it's like go go go. I'm like this, like money, but I literally mean like snapping. You know what I mean? But yeah, that was mine. What was your first working situation?
In terms of specifically entertainment and music, because in Namibia I did a lot of volunteer work, but that was with children.
Mm.
Yeah, entertainment and music specifically. I did. Was it a festival? Yeah, I believe so. I think it was a festival. I don't even remember what it's called anymore.
Mm.
I have no idea what it's called. I just know that it was in The Hague.
Mm.
I was on the social media promo team.
Okay, social media.
Yeah, we had to like basically research all the artists that were performing
Mm.
at this festival and like write Instagram captions. So like we had this massive like spreadsheet
Oh wow.
where it was like you would put in the artist or band that you're writing about, your proposed caption, because you had to like research them to find out what type of music they were performing, because you had to put that into the caption.
Mm-hmm.
Then you would have to say the day that they're performing and like where in The Hague that they were performing.
Mm.
Because it was one of those like citywide festivals, so
Okay.
like they were in multiple locations.
Mm.
Um,
So the caption was basically giving the information.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
There was some other stuff we had to do as well, but it was like mainly online. And then I don't even remember. I'm trying to remember so hard what the festival was called. I saw it the other day because I opened my external hard drive.
Mm.
So I saw like my ACT hours about it and like the
Mm.
write up that I did about it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But like, oh, Crossing Borders Festival. That's what it's called.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Okay.
um and then we had to go to The Hague one of the days. But then like we were invited there because we
Mm.
had done all the promo work, all the digital online promo
Oh, for
work.
work.
We handed out flyers like around Harlem and Amsterdam, I believe, if I remember correctly. Um, yeah, so we were just doing like word of mouth promo and then digital
Mm-hmm.
promo as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, they gave us access to the festival. So they gave us festival
Mm.
tickets. They gave us a hostel to stay in as well. A really nice one at that. It was really fucking nice.
Mm.
So yeah, we went to The Hague. We barely checked things out, to be honest. We got there pretty late. It was just like a long ass day at school, and then we got there pretty
Oh,
late.
you went after
So
school,
yeah.
girl. That must be so tiring, right?
Oh,
When I
listen, and then
finished
you're
school,
lugging around this fucking bag of stuff.
nah. When I finish school, I just want to go home.
I'm
At that
saying.
time, I just want to go home and sleep or just do an assignment if I had to, because when those
I'm
assignments pile up,
saying. I'm
no. But
saying. I
anyway,
was
go
like,
on.
but we were there. We went to like a bar afterwards where there was also like live music. I think one of the bands was performing at the bar, but I don't remember.
Mm.
And it was cold as fuck. It was rainy. And then we went back to the hostel and we went to sleepage. Actually, I was watching Netflix almost all night because like I couldn't sleep because first of all it
Yeah.
was one of those shared rooms, so it was other people
Mm.
that were also working at the festival.
Festival. Okay.
There were four of us in the room. I was sleeping in a random bed in a random place with
Yeah.
random people, so I
No, I
couldn't
get
sleep.
it.
I was just
Yeah, I
watching
get it.
Netflix all night, and then the next day I was like, "Can we leave? I don't want to. I don't want to be here anymore. This is too
Yeah, yeah,
much."
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't. Yeah, but in terms of the actual work itself, it was nowhere near as like stressful and chaotic as like yours was.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember that the other thing that I did was I was learning a language alongside this festival
Mm.
thing. So it was
Okay.
really nowhere near as stressful as yours was.
Girl, if you learn in a language, no.
But it was like it was fun, low key, being on the promo team. It was fun. It was fun.
Yeah, I could imagine. Yeah, no, and I just remembered as well, like even like minor little city assistant things I was doing, like even
Mm-hmm.
like getting drinks
Mm-hmm.
for the crew in the back. So I had to like, and the thing is, the stage was so far from the front office because it was like it's the carnival village, so it's like
Yeah.
huge. I had to like run backstage, get all the info from the stage manager, run to the front office, get the drinks, and this like huge big thing of drinks with a whole ass cooler, run back to the backstage, set it up. Then when I go back to the stage manager, something probably changed, and she's like,
Yeah.
okay, this person is not performing anymore, the time changed. I now need to like go on the schedule, scratch it out with a pen, write it over like the time differently. Then I
No.
gotta go back to the DJ to tell the DJ like, hey, this one is not performing at this time, you need to switch this with the USB, whatever.
That's
Pressure,
crazy.
pressure. The pressure is getting worse because, bitch,
Listen.
listen,
Oh my god, especially for like a first experience like being on the organizational side of entertainment and music and
listen,
stuff.
listen. It was my first
That's
experience,
much.
and I was like, that's why when I went to my brother, I was like, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's fun, but it's a lot. Couldn't be me. I
No,
can't. I
really.
can't do it.
It's much.
I can't do it.
It's
Mm-mm.
much.
I really can't. Mm-mm.
It's much. It's much.
Yeah, no.
And then what was your thing the following next year?
The following thing.
I
Well,
don't know
I.
why I said it like that.
She's
That's
like the
weird.
following thing next year.
Yeah.
So like yeah, so like my first ever like I would say baby thing was the events that I talked about. Then the
Mm-hmm.
second thing that stepped me up a bit was being the stage manager's assistant for Carnival, doing all of that
Mm-hmm.
running around, even like doing the little minor city things. And then I would say the third thing that kind of prepared me for my internship was Rookie.
Oh
Can we talk
yeah.
about Rookie? What do you
Yeah.
think?
Yeah. I mean, look, we were running a company.
No, we
We were
were.
running a company.
And
It
we had
counts as
like
work.
clients.
It's
We had
work
two clients.
experience.
Yeah,
We
two
had to
artists.
make money from this, so
Mm-hmm.
it's work experience. Effectively, we opened up a company for a
Yeah.
period of 4 months.
Yeah.
It was like a pop up, basically.
Yeah, basically like a pop-up artist management. Can we say event management as well? Because we like did two events,
Yeah, yeah,
successful events, by
yeah.
the
We were
way.
both,
Yeah,
and
we
we
were.
called ourselves an entertainment company rather than a
We
management
did.
company.
We
So
did. We did. We said your beat. What we said? Well,
entertainment.
yeah, yeah. Hmm. I'm trying to remember as well. I was like, yeah, no, for
It
real.
was so like it was so much fun,
It was so much fun. It
but it
was
was a
fun.
lot of work as well.
I was just about to say it was fun, a lot of work, but it was great. It was a great learning experience.
Yes, and I really liked our group and our group's teamwork because
Hmm.
we were on everything, and I think
Hmm.
that that also added to making the experience so positive.
Yeah.
Because if we were in one of those groups where people are just slacking off left, right, and center, it would have been the worst. It would have been the worst because there's a lot at stake here. Like there's money at stake
Money.
and there's your
Yeah.
fucking degree at stake because the rookie was literally worth 50% of our grade that year.
Yeah. Yeah.
So many things were at stake that year
Hmm.
academically. And
Academically, yeah.
and rookie, hey, that wasn't one I was willing to fuck up at all.
No. I think joined meaning like with all of us working together, like you said, it made it such a great experience and a
Mm.
positive one at that. And I think because we were also determined, we
Yeah.
got things done so quickly. Like the business plan to like start the company was a lot of work, but
Oh
like
my
we
God.
all worked together and we got it done so quickly. But bitch, it was a lot of work.
It
Could
was.
you can you remember the business plan?
Well, of course.
It was a lot of work.
It
Like,
was.
let's not talk about the marketing part because
Our
you
our two parts were SWOT analysis, were this, were that, were like what it was visual aids for what we wanted things to look like, why this, that, and the other, how are we gonna market it? I was like,
and you know what's so crazy? For every project, for everything, I always choose to be the marketing manager, right?
yeah,
It's so
and be the
funny how I
creative manager.
right. It's so funny how because you're always the creative manager and I'm always the marketing manager, and
Yeah.
it's so funny how I end up doing marketing in the end. Okay, social media marketing, digital
Mm-hmm.
marketing, but it's funny how I end up still doing marketing in the end because every time I choose to be the marketing manager and I actually start to execute the work in terms of like start to research, create the marketing plans, I'm like, Chardonnay, why you choose this? Why did you choose
Me when I have
this?
to start designing the designs.
I'm like, Chardonnay,
I
why did
was
you
like,
choose this?
girl, they have to make the mood board, then I
For
have to do all
real.
of this. I'm like, first of all,
Right?
but you know why? You know why we always fill those roles? It's one, first of all, because we low key enjoy it. But
Mm-hmm.
like, I think that the main reason was because we knew we wouldn't be satisfied if somebody else did it.
For
We
real.
have very specific
Civic,
visions and very
yeah,
specific goals when it comes to these two things because those are our, like, our side passions, our side
right.
hobbies.
And because we have some sort of knowledge of it
Yeah, we have
about it
know-how.
already.
Yeah,
Right.
we
We
have
have the
know-how.
know-how knowledge already. It's why because I was like, I can't stand seeing somebody else doing the marketing and I already know how to do some of it. Because prior to coming to university, I was already like in a semi marketing role. So I was like, no, let me just take this over, please.
Yeah,
You know what I
and for
mean?
me, it's specifically with like colors and fonts and all of that.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
so intentional, so deliberate that I'm like, I must do it. I can't. I can't. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
funny
yeah.
because I'm not like that now. I
No.
was like that then because now I'm like, oh, the minimal effort I have to put in when it comes to designing, I'm gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to think that hard about colors. but
But
then
for
I was like,
rookie,
yeah. Yeah.
but we worked pretty well. Like me and you, like we know we work well together.
Yeah.
And then for rookie, it went pretty smoothly because me and you worked most of the time together because I was the
Yeah, I
marketing
was always in
manager.
on your meetings with the artists as well,
Right. And because I was marketing and you were creative, we always had to work together to come up with like
hand in hand.
creative
Yeah.
ideas. Because I would have
Yeah.
like a marketing idea and I would be like, Kiki, can you do this? You know what I mean?
How do
Like,
we visually
how do
execute
we
this?
visually
And
execute
then,
this?
yeah.
Because with my part, when it came to the marketing, I mainly had to like research because
Mm.
you guys also assisted with that as well. But we researched and then like I had to create the marketing plan for
Yep.
the company itself. So how are we gonna market this
Yep.
entertainment artist management company? Who is our target audience? What are we trying to do? What is our message and so forth? And then apart from figuring out how to market the artist management company, remember I had the task of thinking beforehand how I'm gonna market the artist that we
Mm.
sign
Mm.
to the company. And then I
Mm.
had to make like a sort of mini marketing plan
Yeah.
for each
For
artist,
artist acquisition.
right? Artist acquisition and each artist that we do sign, like
Yep.
I had to make a marketing plan.
Yep.
Girl, it was a lot of plans, marketing
It
plans,
was a lot of
communication plans,
plans.
business
We were here
plans.
picking like colors for these
Oh
artists. We were picking
yeah.
fonts. We were picking
Mm-hmm.
like the image. We were branding them.
We were branding. We were basically branding, and that's exactly how we set up our package.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
we
yeah.
didn't mention that by the way. So
Oh yeah, it's true.
as Kiki mentioned before, we were basically running a company and money was involved.
Mm.
And I believe we sat as a group and
Yeah,
decided
on
what kind
packages.
of packages we would want to offer to artists that we would want to sign.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I did a lot of research that an an evening,
Yeah.
and I came back with like a certain idea of how we can package them, and I involved a bit of branding in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember pitching the business plan
Yeah.
idea
Yeah.
when we all pitched the business plan idea to our lecturers, and I remember pitching the marketing aspect of the business along with the packages that we offer specifically. And I could remember our lecturer was like, this is what you call a marketing plan, and he was like, this is what you call an artist package. You remember when he
Yeah. Yeah.
said, you
Yeah.
remember when
Yeah.
he told the others, he was like, take this as an example. I was like, why did you do this? Why did you
I
do
hated
this?
I hated those moments in lectures, but I also like felt so chuffed inside, but I hated it
Right.
because then everybody looks at you and you're like, don't look at me.
Right. No, I liked it because it also gave me some sort of
Validation.
validation that,
Yeah.
hey,
And reassurance that
I know
you
what
know
I'm
what you're
doing.
doing.
Like
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing when it comes to marketing. And that lecturer specifically, like he was very tough
Mm.
on us and a lot of
Mm-hmm.
things. So the
Mm-hmm.
fact that
Yeah, he was
he
particularly tough on our group because we
yeah,
were a bigger group than average.
yeah, yeah.
And he thought that it would be easier for us because we had more people. We had two more
Hmm.
people than other groups, no? Or just one. We were only one more
We were only
person.
one more person
Yeah,
because
we were
it
only
was
one more
supposed to be
person.
six and we were
Yeah.
seven, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Something
Mm.
like that.
Yeah, something like
But it
that.
was only one more person. And like he was particularly tough on us because he was like, nah, you guys are gonna have an easier time. But then when we said that we want to do both artist management and events, then he was like, now you're being tough on yourselves.
And you know what was so funny, right? He thought we couldn't pull it off.
Mm-hmm.
He thought we couldn't do it because when we told him that we're gonna do events, I saw in his face he was like, "Oh, okay." He was like, "Like,
Mm-hmm.
how are you gonna do both artist management and events?" And we were
Yeah, he was
like,
like, are you sure you can pull this off? And we're
"Yeah."
like,
We were like, "Yeah."
shh.
And in actuality, right? We were supposed to only do one event, right? But we
Yeah,
took it
we
upon
ended up
ourselves to
being,
do two,
yeah.
right? And we
Yeah, because we
smashed
are like, we
both
have
of
two
them.
artists, so let's do two events.
Yeah, and we smashed both of them.
We gave ourselves double the amount of work.
Double the amount of work. And you know what's so funny? Like during our time of recruiting artists, like trying to
Mm-hmm.
sign artists, remember me and you had the task of like trying to sign artists because you
Yeah.
remember our other group members would constantly come to us and ask us like, how is it going with acquiring artists?
Mm-hmm.
And because I would always have like a certain idea in mind. I would ask you like, how can we execute this? And then creatively you would like draft everything to assist me. And recruiting, I think the most difficult thing of running the business itself was like recruiting the artists because we had
Yeah.
headaches.
Yeah. Yeah.
you
Yeah. And like,
remember
of
you
course I remember.
remember the artists that we had that gave us some hard time,
Yeah. Yeah.
girl.
And like, the thing is also, they, I understand why it was so hard. It was because
Hmm.
also they were like, how can I trust a group of university students? Like, they
Yeah,
haven't even
yeah,
graduated yet.
right.
They're in their second year?
Yep, it was second year.
They're in their second year. Like, what the fuck do they know about anything? So I understand that. But then I was also like, jump at the opportunity to have something cheap, cheap and efficient, have some kind of experience with, what it's like
And
to work with somebody who will help you brand yourself, with
self, yeah.
somebody who will literally do all your visuals, with
And
somebody
talk about it
who
talk about
will
it because
will book shit for you.
I was just gonna say cheap but also of quality and providing some
Yeah.
sort of value, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because
Because
there was a lot of pressure on us too. We didn't
right,
want to fuck shit up for these people.
exactly.
So,
And the fact that our lecturer already said that our marketing plan was genius and our packages was genius, we had to execute. You know what I
hmm
mean? And I'm
hmm
so happy that we stayed on track because I remember for this one artist, we did an entire photo shoot. Remember the professional
yes,
photo shoot that we did?
hmm
And the photos came out so good.
they came
But
out
anyway,
so good.
yeah, they came out so good. But anyway, yeah, no, it
Rookie
was
was fire.
a lot of work,
Yeah,
especially like doing the research, business plans, creating the marketing plans. I think the most fun part out of everything for me was executing the marketing plans because then
yeah,
we would like draft up everything and I would communicate with you what my ideas were and you would help me bring that to life visually. And then I think another favorite part of that whole experience for me was the events. Seeing the events being successful.
Yeah, that was
Putting the
fun.
events together was a little stressful,
Yeah,
but
that
seeing
patronat night was actually so cool.
yeah.
That
Seeing the
patronat night
events
was cool.
come to life and the results was very satisfying. I enjoyed that a lot because when the event got full, like that the night at Patronat, when the
Yeah.
venue was full, I was like, wait a minute,
I was
did
like,
we
not our
like
little event popping off.
I was like, our event looks sold out because it's full.
Rookie was very much a priceless experience
Mm-hmm.
for all of us because it was the first time we were properly so hands on with everything, and in a very real situation
Mm-hmm. Even though it
versus
was
reading about
university,
it. Yeah.
right?
Versus reading about it or hearing about it from our lecturers. We were doing it ourselves and it was sick as fuck. It was so much work, but it was sick as fuck. I really enjoyed it. Of the ACT hours, I also did the fucking ADE, the Amsterdam dance
From
event.
the ACT hours, what do you do?
ADE.
Mm.
I also did
Mm-hmm.
Pop Ronda, which was another
Mm.
festival.
Mm.
Bitch, I was at festivals.
It's a festival. And you know, I always wanted to go, but I didn't make up my mind as yet because like, I'm not so into festivals.
Hmm.
So I was like, third year, which we both can talk about, is the biggest. I think, how you say it, the biggest.
The
Help me
most
here,
the
or the
most
most
like serious work
serious,
experience.
right? Serious
Yeah.
work experience was our internships.
Yeah.
Um,
Which we did for 5 months.
Yeah, we did it for 5 months because I started in August. Did I
Same.
start in August?
I think we started in September. September
No,
to
girl.
January.
I started in September.
Yeah.
Started in September and then September to January because
Mm-hmm.
February our minor started, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
So September to January we did it. And I worked at an artist management company
Mm-hmm.
and I always wanted to work at an artist management company because I was like, I want to see how they do artist management. Like I already had an idea of what they do and how it was, but I wanted to see it visually for myself, like everything in action. And it was interesting. It was interesting. I'm laughing. It was interesting because they did things differently
Mm. I think
and
that's the case for the Netherlands in general.
yeah, they
Things
did
are
things
just different
differently.
there.
And I was like, do you guys know that? Okay, even though I'm studying music management within the Netherlands, it was international music management. So it wasn't stuck to how just the Dutch do their stuff. We
Yeah,
learned
yeah.
about the US and we learned about, I remember they talked about a few stuff in
We learned
China or
about the
whatever.
EU at
And
large as well.
right. So um when I saw how they were working at the artist management company, I was like, okay, this is different. I remember my role was the label manager. Although it's an artist management company, I was named the label manager. I was going to be in charge of all the releases for the artist on the management company's roster.
Yeah.
Um, but in the end, I was more of an all rounder. I was more of an
Mm-hmm.
all round artist manager. And what I mainly focused on was the marketing aspect
Yeah.
for the artist releasing their music or the artist's image itself, or even just a little bit of A&R in between.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can remember when I first started, I started working with two urban kind of R&B hip hop artists, and one of them was a new artist trying to break into the scene here in the Netherlands, but also internationally in the future. And I remember we were working a lot on trying to develop her sound,
Yeah.
but also her image.
Mm.
So apart from listening to the type of music that she makes and giving suggestions and pointers on what can be done, um, we were like looking at photos of her and thinking of what her image could be based on the things that she likes and what she's interested or how she wants to be perceived within her music. Um, so that was that part. And then for the other artist that was already kind of on the scene, we were just, I said we because it was me and the main artist manager, the person
Yeah.
who owns the company, but I was mainly doing the work as sort of the assistant for her with those artists. But with the second artist that was already on the scene, we were mainly just looking for him to like, I don't know how to explain it because he was already known but not that known. So I think we were just trying to increase his awareness
Yeah. Yeah.
around his music, but
Yeah.
more of like get him seen because he already had like a sort of an image already going on. He already had like a sound with his music, but we
Okay.
were we were just looking to like um give him more awareness, more
Increase. Yeah.
visibility. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, it was fun, but in the end, out of like helping them with like A&R, helping them with like branding and visibility, in the end I end up doing like most of the marketing stuff in terms of like giving
Yeah.
ideas, creating marketing plans, creating social media plans, dealing with the PR agent. I also had to ensure that every publication that the artist was in internationally, I had to like create like a whole document filing system to like enter each publication into a system. I also made, like I said, the social media plans. So when the artist was about to release like a new single or even an album, like I sat down and think of like a social media plan on how they can release their music or just bring attention to the
Mm.
release. And I did
Mm-hmm.
that step by
Mm-hmm.
step. And I was also involved in the release itself because we had like this sort of like Excel spreadsheet where we would it's so crazy because someone who was working there before made an Excel spreadsheet that already had like formulas in it. So all you needed to do was put in the release date of the
Yeah.
song and
Yeah.
it would just curate its own dates on when everything needs to be done. So we were
Oh,
just like,
interesting.
yeah, so we were just like following
Inputting
that.
information, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. So we were just like following that and then I was emailing back and forth with the artist and just reviewing emails as well with other agents that were
Mm.
involved and just updating the head artist manager on what's taking place. I was also doing press releases, writing press releases. Girl, I hate writing press releases.
It's
I
not
also had
fun.
to write like press releases, newsletters. I had to conduct like interviews with the artist to like create an artist bio.
Yeah.
Girl, I was like, let me go
They were
back to like,
overworking
I
you.
was
They
like,
said,
let me
let's take
just
advantage of the intern.
I was like, let me just go back to like social media. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can I just go back to making a social media plan? Can I just go back to marketing? Listen, the head artist manager would be like, would tell the other interns, like, if you need any help with like social media or marketing, like, just go to Chardonnay. Or if you need,
And you're like, wait,
I
stop.
was like, hello.
I have
And
enough
then,
on my plate.
and then, um, even with presentations, they were like, if you need someone to review your marketing presentation, because the other interns were also making like marketing presentations to present to other artists. And they were like, if you need help with your presentation, just like you could go to Chardonnay. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But that was fun. And I think the most fun thing for me out of the internship as well was, okay, definitely learning and also another validation that I know what I'm doing when it comes to like social media.
Yeah.
But I think also what was fun is actually attending the shows for the artists because the two
Mm-hmm.
artists that I was working with, I attended their shows,
Yeah, that's fun.
and I was backstage with the artists, so I get to see like how everything worked for them, like the writer, what they needed if it came, ensuring like time slot, they're seeing their performance. I don't know, it was just fun to like experience everything. So like you're managing them, but like you're also going out to see them perform and you're also backstage. It was just like a full circle
Yeah.
experience. You know, it
Yeah,
was
that's
fun.
fire.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah. It
cool.
was fun. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was my
That's
experience.
dope.
Yeah.
My internship was very different to
Mm.
Chardonnay's internship.
She's like very.
It was completely different. Because I decided that our course didn't give me enough information when it came to like licensing and like copyright and all of that shit. So I went to find an internship in those fields because I think they're interesting, but I also just really wanted to learn more about it because I just felt like it's such a big, big, big part of the music industry that the fact that it wasn't more focused on in our course kind of like bothered me because I was like, guys, Are you aware? Are you aware of how big of an area this is that we're just like kind of looking at, but not really looking at? Um, we had we had copyright lectures, but they were mixed in with law, with music business law, music law in general. So it was just part of the overall law classes, lectures. Um, so yeah, I went to a there like it's not 100% correct to call it a music licensing company, but it's just the easiest way for me to explain this.
Yeah.
So I went to a music licensing company, a small office in Amsterdam, and I was the youngest one there, which hadn't happened to me in a minute because it was my second time going to university. So I was generally the oldest one everywhere in terms of my
Mm.
classmates, at least. So it was interesting to be the youngest one, the youngest one in an office again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was appointed the community manager and essentially the resident graphic designer as well. I did many things. I did several things. So my first week there was actually focused on getting to know the company fully,
Mm.
and also learning about Creative Commons
Mm.
copyright, because again that was something that wasn't ever really touched on in
Mm-hmm.
our course,
Right.
but it was a big part of what this company did. So like the music that plays inside shops,
Mm-hmm.
that was their specialty.
Okay,
So they would
cool.
curate these playlists and find artists and whatnot to put into these playlists for major department stores, um, in Europe. I remember one of the stores that they did that for. One of the franchises that they did that for was actually Hema.
Mm.
Yeah. So they had this massive network of artists from literally everywhere, and they just like upload all of their music, knowing that this is a Creative Commons
Comment. Right.
platform. And like the ones that made really high quality music would then have the opportunity to have their music licensed by like filmmakers, like a lot of different people, but also to have their music on these in-store playlists, and they generate a lot of income doing that.
Mm.
It's a at least at the time, I don't know if it still is, but at the time it was a really untapped part of the music business. The ones that make really high quality music
Music.
and release really high quality music regularly, they were making good money. So it was really interesting to see the whole process because it was explained to me from literally A all the way down to Z. As the community manager, I was a point of contact for all of these artists in the network. So, like, doubts that weren't specifically related to their music would come through to me. And if it was stuff that I knew I couldn't answer, I basically like filtered it and like sent it to the appropriate people. If anything was like so specific that like that's I can't do that for you. So yeah, I would get emails about all sorts of things. The thing is like the songs that were on this platform on the company's platform couldn't be associated to a collecting society
Oh
because then
yeah.
they are not Creative
Create
Commons.
comments. Yeah.
Um, and like it would happen sometimes that people would forget to opt out these specific songs from their collecting societies. So you end up talking about that a lot with like a lot of people. But then beyond that, I also actually conducted interviews with a
Mm.
lot of a lot of the
Oh yeah,
more
I remember
successful,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of the more successful musicians on the platform. We started doing these. Were
It
they weekly?
was it Spotlight? What about
Yeah,
like a
yeah, we were
spotlight
doing like
artist spotlight?
yeah. So we that was just like the social media thing, but then we
Mm.
had these interviews. I don't remember what we called the interviews because like, the artist spotlight was when they pick like like employee of the month. It was artist
Yeah.
of the month.
Yeah.
I guess we called them spotlight interviews. I don't know. I don't remember. But every week we had a new interview with a musician or a band. So I would talk to a lot of these musicians, and like the cool thing was that if they had something unusual or really unique about um, their music success, then that would make that would add on to the interview as well, because it was like four sets of different types of questions, so it really depended on like what kind of music they made, what questions I asked them. But if they had like really cool shit, then I would add that into the interview as well. So like we had a guy who was part of the official soundtrack for an anime movie that was doing
Mm.
really well because he played a really unusual instrument as well. So that was a cool ass
Mm.
interview. And then we had a lady who was a cruise ship entertainer. So she was
Okay.
singing on a cruise ship every night.
Okay.
We had a guy who would like use the money that he made on the platform to like feed stray dogs in his
Mm.
country.
Okay.
So it was just like it was cool. It was cool connecting with all of these people on a human level and about such like common things like
Right.
music. Um, so I did that, and then I also did their social media.
Yeah, I remember you was doing that. Yeah.
I made all these templates to just make their social media look nicer and more
Yeah.
cohesive. And I also interacted on their social media every single day. It was the first thing I did when I got in the office in the morning. It was open their Instagram, open their Twitter, and just
Sure.
start liking things, liking things, retweeting things, and whatnot to bring up their engagement on their
Engagement.
social media
Yeah.
because they like ignored social media essentially. It was like it really isn't much of a thing for them.
Yeah.
They use it like now that I'm gone, they use it even less than they did before I went there.
You even designed, you kind of redesigned as well.
I redesigned their whole corporate identity.
Yeah.
That was another thing that I did. Um, because they told me that they felt like it was like a bit outdated, and they gave me the option. They said like, "Look, if you're interested," and I was like, "Yeah, no, you can't go further with this one. Hey, let me let me do something." So I redid their whole corporate identity, changed their logo. They maintained the same colors, but I used them in a completely different way than they were using it originally. And like we screen printed T-shirts and tote bags. We did a lot of stuff, and then I would also like designed a vinyl case for like this
Mm.
project that they did. Um, so yeah, I did a lot of like graphic design stuff for them as well.
Yeah.
But I did a lot of talking to a lot
A
of
lot of
people.
people. I remember that because I remember that the talking to a lot of other artists and the social
Mhm.
media stuff became like the most uh the most of your
Yeah, what?
task.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like the my biggest task,
Right.
and like with the interviews, it got to a point where I was maybe doing like three, four different people or groups a day,
Wow.
like finishing everything, putting it on the website, putting it everything in the things and the spots, right? Like, it got to a point where I was doing it that way because like I got so used to doing it, it just became a really fast process for me. And actually, even after my official internship time finished, I continued working for the company. So it became a commission based job. It was like part time commission based job. I continued doing the interviews for another 6, 7. I was with them for a year and 4 months in total.
Mm.
So other than like the 5 months that I had already done for them, I did an additional like 8 where I was just doing the interviews. But then I had to
Mm.
stop because thesis. It
Mm-hmm.
became too much. I couldn't like turn off thesis brain. And also just final year in general was crazy.
Crazy.
It was
No,
too
we
many
needed to
things going on. The
focus.
projects
Yeah.
were insane. The thesis was crazy. Then the pandemic happened. Then I moved. It was just like a lot.
It was a lot
It
going on
was it
for
was it
real.
was too many things, and I couldn't do it anymore. So I had to like back out of working further with them. But they were like super cool. I had a really good experience. It was a lot of fun. I learned so much about
Mm-hmm.
licensing and copyright. So much so that I did my thesis on copyright. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, on copyright law. That was our little work experiences, job experiences in the music industry, entertainment industry. We did a lot.
Yeah.
We did a lot. We had fun. It was hard. We were cold. We were in offices. We were outside offices. We did the whole shebang. It
Yeah.
was cool though. It
It was
was
fun.
yeah, it was experiences I would never exchange
For real.
for anything
For
because
real, for real.
yeah, because it was just like and like
Mm.
met cool people.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, it was cool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so small talk corner.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So for those of you who don't know, because those who watch us already know,
Yeah.
our small talk corner is where we say, well, we ask each other questions.
Mm-hmm.
It can be related to music, to the podcast, or it can be unrelated. And then we say our two favorite songs of the week that we've been listening to nonstop.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, do you have a question for me, Kiki?
No,
Girl, okay.
I didn't have time to
So,
think of one. Today was
I have
busy.
a question for you. If you were offered like a permanent job at your internship, would
Mm-hmm.
you take it? Because you know you already had certain things in mind that you wanted to do, maybe go
Yeah,
back home, or maybe you didn't see yourself in this position working for the future or whatever. I don't know.
yeah.
Would you take like a permanent position at your internship as a community manager, but still doing graphic design and social media?
So the gag is that I was offered a permanent job
Oh,
at my internship, but I turned it down
the
for two
secrets the tea is
reasons.
spilling.
Yeah, yeah. I turned it down for two reasons. I said, I don't know where the future is going to take me. And I feel like deciding now would be crazy, especially because I haven't even finished my degree.
Mm-hmm.
Not that there's nothing wrong with, not that there's anything wrong with like starting a permanent job position while you're still studying.
Right.
I just felt unsure of what direction I wanted to go in.
Mm-hmm.
Like I knew at first I wanted to go into artist management, and they knew that as well. Um, I didn't want to accept this because I felt like it wouldn't lead into the other one. I
Right.
would be doing what I'm doing currently, but for a really long time.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like there was room for me to grow, essentially, was also the other
Mm.
thing. Because even if, now I'm not as interested in being an artist manager anymore, but like I would have still grown a lot in a position as an artist manager
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
in very, 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 very many ways.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in my position as a community manager and like a graphic designer, sure, I would have grown as a graphic designer, but it's also not what I want to do with my life. That I knew
Mm-hmm.
for certain. That I was
Mm-hmm.
100% sure I'm not trying to do a profession as a graphic designer, and I still feel the same now. But as community manager and in that specific setting, I didn't feel like there was any room for me to grow more than I did already within that position because the work to me started becoming redundant and repetitive.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, I could have done a lot more interviews. I could have met a lot of artists. And sure, like they are always innovating at this company. Like that was one of the things that I was like, God damn, like they really are always, always, always innovating. But even then, it just wasn't where I wanted to be.
Mm.
It was great. It
Understandable.
was fun, but I knew it's not, I don't want to be here
Yeah.
for the
For
next
that, right.
3, 4 years
Doing this specific thing.
doing this specific thing.
Yeah. No, I get you. I
I was
get
also
you.
sick of the Netherlands. I wanted to
No,
leave.
I get you. I get you.
I'm gonna Uno reverse card the question on you now because
Girl.
I can't think of a single question. So, would you have stayed at your company if you were offered a permanent position?
You know, I'm like, um, I would have considered it
Mm-hmm.
with some changes in mind
Okay,
in terms of
your
if
tasks.
my tasks
Mm-hmm.
basically because I was doing certain things that I didn't really enjoy or didn't have much knowledge of.
Mm-hmm.
It was just minor things.
Yeah, yeah.
And also I don't know if this is because I was an intern or it was more of a sole proprietorship company
Yeah.
and the person wanted to make their decisions on their own and their decision stands,
Yeah, yeah.
which is understandable. I don't have anything against that because it's your business. But I don't know if it's because I was an intern or because it was a sole proprietorship that they wanted to stick to their decisions. um I would consider it, but implement that I do the marketing for
Mm-hmm.
the artist management company as a whole
Mm-hmm.
and also assist the artists with their marketing. And I would ask as well for a bit more leniency when it comes to making certain decisions when it comes to like branding and PR, and just overall marketing campaign ideas and
Mm, mm, mm.
execution.
Yeah, makes sense.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, sure, I can stay, but under these circumstances, because then I feel like if it's not under these circumstances, I feel like I'll just be an assistant in
Yeah.
terms of whatever you say, I just have to do.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'll feel used, but also useless, if that makes
Yeah, yeah,
sense.
yeah. Yeah.
And then
You'll
I'll be
feel
like, okay,
redundant essentially.
right. I feel like, okay,
Yeah.
then what am I doing here? Because I'm doing something that I don't really want to do. I don't have much say. I'm just being an assistant. Like, why am I really here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would definitely consider it, but under those circumstances,
Mm.
because I already have knowledge on marketing and I already see certain things that could have been done differently in order
Mm.
to build brand awareness for the company and also the artists, and a few other PR moves could have been done to kind of polish things a little bit, if so to speak. Um, but yeah, yeah, I would, but under those circumstances.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
if
yeah.
not, then I feel like I'm no use here. Then it
Yeah.
should just be a no. Then, so that's
Yeah.
all. That's all. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, but under those circumstances.
Okay, 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 okay. Makes
Makes
sense.
sense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes complete sense. All
Yeah.
right. Songs.
Songs. Okay, so my first song is "Senseless" by Steph London.
Mm-hmm.
I've been listening to that. I've just been on a Steph London vibe for a while now, so I don't know why. I'm starting to like Steph London a bit more. So "Senseless" by Steph London, and my second song is "Alone Again"
Mm-hmm.
by Kim Petras and Nicki Minaj, because
Okay, okay.
I just love that song at the moment. It's very nostalgic. It just makes me feel good. Yeah, those are my two songs for
Okay.
this week. What are your two songs?
My first song is Like Crazy by Jimin because I miss BTS. And this is just a great song. It's a good song. And again, it's like one of those things that it has a very retro nostalgic like pop sound.
Mm.
Um disco pop almost, but
Hmm.
not quite. Um it's dope. I like it so much. It makes me want to dancey dance. Even though the lyrics are kind of bleak. Even though the lyrics are kind of bleak. But I just really love the song. I really
Okay.
love the song. I think it suits Jimin's voice so much that I'm just
Mm.
like the whole time I'm just thrilled. I'm just thrilled listening to the song. The way he sings the last few lines of that song injected in my veins. Thank you.
Mm.
Goodbye. Um my second song is called Bad by a musician called Soyun. Um Friend, just listen to it. I don't really know. I don't really know where to go from here. It
Okay.
slaps so hard.
Okay.
It's got like some rock elements, but like really soft. It's like a soft
Mm.
rock.
Hmm.
Um, and her voice is crazy, and the chorus it feels nice in my head. I don't know how else to say it. It feels good in my head. Um, and Soyun is dope. I like her. She's
Nice,
cool.
nice, nice.
Um,
I think we talked a lot about our experiences working within
mhm,
entertainment, the music industry. It was
mhm,
interesting. It was
mhm.
fun. It was interesting to hear your side as well, like
Yeah,
your experience,
yeah,
and it also felt good to talk about my experience as well, because yeah, you
yeah.
never
It was
know.
also just nice to reminisce our internship days because
Yeah.
I remember we were talking to each other all the time, and then I remember that weekend you came to spend in Harlem as well, and we were just
Hmm.
like we were just talking to each other about our internship woes. We were like,
Yeah.
oh no,
Yeah.
there's so much
For
going on.
real. For real.
All right, so that's the end of that. That's the things. That's the tea. That's all of the stuff. If you are watching on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and also turn on post notifications if you're feeling spicy. If you are listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, don't forget to rate and follow the podcast and also
Yep.
share it with your friends. because why not? And then you can also follow us on TikTok and Instagram at Don't Touch My Music Pod. It's the same on both. We post bloopers on both. Sometimes I forget about
She's
TikTok
like,
and I
sometimes.
and I post things 4 days late, as was the case yesterday.
Oh yeah, I saw it yesterday.
I was like, oh my god. Yeah. So sometimes I forget about TikTok, but I will be there. I will be there one way or another, even if it's 4 days late. And on Instagram, we also share our songs of the week in our highlights and our stories. And sometimes we share a little something extra here and there for funsies. So
Yep.
yeah, you can follow us over there. So that concludes this week's episode.
Yes. I will see you guys next week again with our
Okay.
another topic.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.